question. Everybody wants to know the answer to that question. So I'm very pleased to have support from many business leaders. I have the support from the Roseville Chamber of Commerce PAC, as well as a lot of community leaders. So I actually checked the other day, and I have over 200 people who have individually given to my campaign. So I do have some business leaders, I do have some business owners from the community. As well, though, I have friends and neighbors and friends who go to my church. So I have a lot of folks who've said, you know, Bonnie, we've known you for a long time, and we're going to invest in you with our $50 check or our $100 check, and I really appreciate that. I'm not taking dollars from unions. They don't want to give it to me because I won't promise that I will say I can't ever cut things. So I have to let you know that up front, that I'm going to be willing to make hard choices regardless of who supports me and who gives me funds. It really comes down to the issues and the questions at hand. It's not about who's given me money, it's about what's right for the city of Roseville, and that's what I pledge to do, is to make decisions based on what's best for our residents.
Mr. Mendonsa.
Most of my funding to date has come from local nonprofits. I've worked with several of those nonprofits locally, as well as ones with national chapters. They believe in the benefits that they provide to our community, so therefore they believe in contributing to people who are going to further those benefits through their volunteer and community efforts. I've also contributed personally to my campaign. I'm a serious candidate, and I think that when you contribute your own money, you can take it more personally and more serious, like anything else. So I did that on purpose, because when it's my money I'm spending, I want to make sure that I'm going to do the job right and I'm going to spend it wisely. So I might as well get in that habit if I'm going to serve all of you. And lastly, aside from the nonprofits, I have family and friends that have pitched in, $50, $20, whatever, and I'm happy for their support and happy that they have backed me in this alongside with the other individuals as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I'll tell you who I haven't gotten money from is a lot of unions and things like that. I don't necessarily subscribe to, I guess, their ideology. I wouldn't promise to do things that I didn't feel was ethical, so therefore I didn't get the money. And I'm happy to make that money up on my own or through other people. I would rather run an honest campaign and owe no one than to owe everybody under the sun once I get elected and not be able to honestly lead. Thank you.
Ms. Roccucci.
I had a variety of people who have supported me, from businesses to friends to different organizations that have donated. So I've had from $20, $50, $100, maybe $500 that have supported me, and from different groups. Most of my campaign has been grassroots. A lot of people help me. My husband has actually been my biggest ally and supporter, and so if you ever don't see him here, he's probably home helping me do something here in the campaign. But I do have the support and endorsement of the Roseville Police Department, both the sworn and the non-sworn, and the fire department, and the Local 39. One thing I didn't mention about my family, we come from a very strong police and fire family. My father was a fire chief, and my son is a fire captain. My other son is a probation officer, and also now takes care of parolees. So I definitely know what is occurring in our community and what it needs to take help. But when I work with all these groups, these are people I've worked with a lot throughout the years. If you see me at council, I'm not shy to vote, be the only one, be a 4-to-1. It's not fun, it's not good, it doesn't feel good on the outside, but it feels good on the inside when you're doing something you feel you believe in. So that's how I voted, in the past, and that's how you'll see me vote in the future.
Mr. Alvord?
The very first donation I received was a check from myself, $500. That's the maximum contribution you can take from any organization or individual. I have gone before many labor unions that the city deals with, and I have received a lot of support, and not at all because I promise to owe them anything, because I don't. I talk about the economy and I talk about ideas on how we can improve the economy, and they like what they're hearing. Because when you're improving the economy, you're solving problems. Most of my supporters are actually small businesses. We get a lot of $15, $20, $50 donations. A lot of businesses that I've helped have given back, but they're in very small amounts. We're not allowed to report, or we don't report anything under $100 specifically. It kind of gets lumped together, but I've received a lot of small donations that way. Another chunk of my supporters are businesses that donate more than that. And again, the coalition behind my campaign is a wide variety of people. A lot of people in the community and a lot of business owners, because that's who I represent.
Mr. Ozenick?
You know, it's a little too early to say where all your money's come from. If you miss some place where you should have been because you lost your planner, well, you may have lost some money. Well, that's too bad. My wife is my sole supporter. She has given me a check for $500, and I reached into my pocket and took another $500 and made another donation. I've received a number of individual donations from $20 up to $250. So if it takes myself to loan myself to be your representative, I'm willing to do that. Thank you.
Ms. Garcia?
I think all of you know that you need the support of your family when you run for office like this, and my family is my biggest supporter, my husband and my 2 daughters, and I'm thankful for that. I too have received contributions anywhere from $10 to $500, which is the max that we can receive. I've received support from community leaders, civic leaders, business owners of all different sizes. They have faith in me that I will help build our economy up again and create jobs, and that's one of my goals. Because I've lived here so long, I've gotten a lot of support from friends, from neighbors, from relatives, and proud to say that I've been supported by the Roseville Chamber Political Action Committee. I've also received the endorsements of our Roseville Fire, Roseville Police Officers Association, and the Roseville Police Association, the non-sworn police. I feel that I've been supported because I make good decisions that are in the best interest of our residents and businesses, and they trust that I will do a good job. Thank you.
Okay, before we have our next question, I've been asked to instruct the candidates to please try to hold the microphone a little bit closer to your mouth in some cases. Some of the people in the back have difficulty hearing. Okay, for our next question, we'll begin with Mr. Mendonsa. On any given issue, would you vote the way the majority of your constituents want, even when your personal view is different?
Without having an actual item in front of me, but that's a blanket statement to make. I think the best answer to that would be I would vote responsibly depending on what I would like to see. And my campaign slogan is "Our City, Your Voice," and there's a reason for that. I'm not one to follow the pack, if that was, whoever directed that question up here, if that was what you were driving at. So I wouldn't feel the majority, like Pauline said, being that solo one person hanging out there like, oh boy, you know, I don't want to be that guy having to get walked to the parking lot later because I held out. I'm okay with that. I've held several jobs which were popular with society. I'm used to people not wanting to see me when I come to their door. So I'm okay with being the lone person holding out if I believe that that's what's right and that's going to be something that's going to, you know, be in our best interest and protect the community. Then, you know, so be it. But I wouldn't succumb to peer pressure just because I was that one person holding out. I would try to make sure that I was making a sensible decision and what I was doing was the right thing to do for a particular issue.
Ms. Roccucci?
What I would do is what I do now. I'd read the material that I'm getting on a packet of what the issue is. I'd find out additional information. I would talk to the community that it's affecting, people that I know that have interest in it and know knowledge about it. People will call about it or send me emails and give me their opinions. So I take a wide amount of information first before I make my decision. Then I get what staff feels, you know, some of the background that they have, and I think and analyze what that means. What does it mean to the community? How much does it cost? What does it do to our environment if you're talking about our water and, you know, and our electricity? So I look at how does it affect the community as a whole? What is the big picture? And what's going to happen with this issue, especially not just today, but long range. And when I have to make some of those really tough decisions, it's not about me, it's about my community and about what's going to happen to Roseville. And that's what I have to take, to bed with me. It's like I've always said, when you wake up in the morning, the thing is, I have to look in that mirror and face myself, and that's what's important. It's about, having values and doing what you feel is right for what you people have elected me for, to make decisions for you.
Mr. Alvord?
After 25 years of being in the community, talking with my neighbors, and especially on this campaign trail, going door to door, talking to people, I began hearing over and over that one of the big problems, and again, we got a great city, a good city council, but they don't listen to the community. The community complains, and a lot of times it doesn't happen. When you don't really dig into the issues and don't really do your homework, when the city staff bring different measures to you to decide on each city council meeting, if you don't do your homework, the tendency is to rubber stamp it and just go along with it, and that happens a lot. When you're representing people, you have got to have connections with people that are affected by the decisions. You need to call those people and say, what do you think about this? Make sure you've got meetings in the community. You're going to the neighborhood association meetings, presenting ideas. You've got to have your pulse on the community, and you guys should not vote for anybody that doesn't do that for you. That's really important. And me as a citizen, that's how I vote. I vote for people that follow what we as a community would like to see happen. And so absolutely, I would not go based on my own personal feelings on something. I would go based on what our community wants and what's best for our community from their perspective.
Mr. Ozenick?
It's called passing the baton. I've been in a position many times to make a decision based on what's been put before me. I'll give you an example of what hasn't been put before me. A few months ago, the City Council rubber stamped an item that is the aquifer storage recovery, taking water out that has been put in. And they should not have listened to the staff. They should have listened to the people who have the expertise in that, because they needed to do more testing in order to find out what the water really is. Thank you.
Ms. Garcia?
Thank you. When I'm sitting on the council and struggling with the decision and listening to the constituents and we disagree, I really try to dig in, ask more questions. I even go outside of staff and try to investigate it a little bit further on my own if I just don't see eye to eye with them on something. But at the end of the day, you really have to reach right inside of your soul and decide what is going to be best for the residents and the businesses, and so then I act upon that at the end.
Ms. Gore?
When there are tough questions, whether it's something that would come before a council or even in my own work life, it's really, I first start with studying the issue. What is the issue? What are the concerns on both sides? Pros and cons. Ask questions. I'll certainly ask questions of both sides, because really it's about you, the residents, what's really best for the citizens of Roseville. I'll do my homework. I'll research. And then when it comes to the really tough questions, ultimately, I'm going to pray and ask for guidance, because I don't always have the best answers, but what I will do is ask for guidance on what I ultimately believe is in the best interests for our citizens, because that's really what matters. What's in the best interests for our residents? I'm not afraid to stand up and make a tough decision. I've done that in the past. I'll continue to do that. I'll make tough decisions. I'm not afraid to stand alone, but ultimately it comes down to what's going to be best for all of you.